Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with episode number 27. Audrey needs a little decompression on number 27. Giving you a little lesson or two. You guys, I'm going to be real tired. I'm tired this week. And a little don't want to do anything depression. So that's good. You know, my therapist is all about me sharing my vulnerability with you guys and with everybody. So there you go. That means you get listener questions. You guys, shout out to your reviews. Doing it for Jesse. We got one for Jesse this week. I know you can do better for Jesse. He deserves it. We just got one lowly little review for Jesse. Give Jesse another review or two. You be the person that is giving Jesse a review.
Give me reviews.
He's so valuable. Just his little face lights up when you give him a review. It just makes him so happy. So shout out to DJasso3 and Drewsy Jake. Something like that. Thanks, you guys. Audrey helps actors because they don't know anything. All right, so we have so many listener questions. This one comes from Ethan. What's up, Ethan? Ethan's going to be on the podcast very soon. Ethan says, got myself a membership on the tracking board in the pursuit of practicing my audition skills by putting myself on tape with real material from pilots and whatnot. Unfortunately, I cannot seem to actually find the scripts. I found all the news about the pickups and casting, but not the scripts themselves. Help! Thanks again for being a baller. Okay, first of all, I want you to know you don't have to be on the tracking boards to do the self-tapes and submissions. A really great thing is just go on Showfax. Just do Showfax, you guys. Showfax, you should already have a subscription from your Actors Access. It's like $68 or something a year. And don't even try to do things that are necessarily your casting. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're getting used to putting yourself on tape, having one take, and seeing if you're telling the story, and really taking the time to see whether or not you buy yourself as this person in this audition. You know, so much of what is on camera, I feel like, is they're just looking for you to be the person. And so you can really see, like, are you trying too hard? Are you trying enough? As far as the tracking boards is concerned, when I say tracking boards, there's many tracking boards. So you may not be on the right one. Some of the tracking boards have something called like a forum. And on this forum, people are discussing pilots, posting new pilots or new movies, things like that. And so if there's something you're looking for, you can sort of ask, or you can just sort of read through the forum, see what you can find. Also, there's often like an email list, and you can sort of, you know, get on the email list and then email everybody who's part of the group and say, hey, does anyone have blah, blah, blah. And if you want to be general, you can say, hey, does anyone have any of the NBC half-hour multicam pilots? And people will respond with what they've got. Or you can say, hey, does anyone have any of the network dramas this year? And you'll get a bunch of responses back. So good luck, Ethan. Great question. You guys, you have to self-tape. You have to read scripts. You have to do it all the time. My next question comes from Christopher. What's up, Christopher? He says nice things about me. And then he says, I had a quick question about something you mentioned during your podcast. I forgot who and which of the podcast it was, but you talk about websites that you should be looking at. Hollywood News, ? What's reliable? Okay, so you want to be reading through Deadline all day, every time that you're in the bathroom. You should be on Deadline. You want to be looking at the Hollywood Reporter, and you want to be looking at Variety and The Wire. Those are really the four. But most everybody's just on Deadline all the time. If you are particularly sensitive, just know, you guys, when you're on Deadline, it can be soul crushing. I did talk to a really good friend of mine, and they were saying they were reading all these pilots just like Ethan wants to do, and then they were on deadline just like Christopher wants to do, and the result is considering suicide. So that's because what happens is that you are really seeing all these great parts that you really feel like you should get the opportunity to audition for, and you're seeing who it is that's getting them, and it's not you. And that's just really hard on the heart. So really take care of yourself. And the great thing about Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, The Wire, is they can start to give you an inside scoop as far as what's being developed. And I want you just to start getting familiar with what showrunners do, what kinds of shows. If you were a tech person, you wouldn't just be like, I am a tech person. You would be like, I am a tech person who specializes in this particular area of tech, virtual reality. So I'm going to look at who are the people in the tech scene who are particularly creating new virtual reality experiences. And then from there, you're like, I don't just like virtual reality. I seem to do really well with virtual reality that is sci-fi oriented. So then you're going to be looking for people who do sci-fi oriented virtual reality. Cool? All right, I have a self-tape question from Matthew. Matthew says he's looking at the ring light and stand that I recommend on my self-taping kit on my website, AudreyHelpsActors.com. AudreyHelpsActors.com. I have a section called Self-Tape Kit. He says, does the ring light go on the tripod along with the iPhone and adapters? Yes. So just so you guys are clear, there's like a light stand, and then there's a ring light that goes on that light stand, and then there's like a little adapter thing so you can actually hook the ring light on to the light stand, and then there's like an iPhone clip, and then there's like a little adapter thing that takes the iPhone clip to the ring light. I've got all of that online for you to purchase, okay? I don't get any kickbacks from that. That's just the kit I use, so I give it to you with all the equipment. So yes, that all goes together. Also, I have a newer iPhone, and that doesn't have a headphone jack. Do you have any recommendations for mics that work with the newer iPhones? No, what you have to do if you have the newer iPhone is you have to get the little dongle. Isn't that a great word? You get the little dongle, the little white dongle that comes with your iPhone when you get it anyway. At least the one I had came with it. They're like $10 at Best Buy. And so you can plug that into your iPhone, and then you plug the mic into that little dongle. That sort of is the alternative to like if you're using headphones with a cord, you have that little dongle that connects them. So that's what I got. Okay, this is a really good question from Ashley. Ashley wants to know, how do you find mid-level agents? I tried looking through IMDb Pro, but are those numbers accurate, or is it better to look at the type of clients they have? What are your thoughts on showcases out in LA? All right, you guys. How do you find mid-level agents? Who knows? I do think that looking at people's IMDb is pretty good. You're right that you can buy star boosters. Everything's for sale here in Hollywood. So you can buy star boosters, which will raise your star unauthentically, but it's unlikely that an entire client roster is going to be doing that. If you're already at an agency and you feel like they're a low-level agency, then yes, you want to be looking at people who are maybe getting a lot of guest stars. So when you're watching a show, if you look at who is like the main person who has the most scenes in an episode, so like if you're looking at Grey's Anatomy, it's the person that's in like 4 scenes, and there's usually like the husband and the wife. So those are what's called top of show guest stars. The top of show guest stars are usually with very good mid-level agencies to top agencies. So you can sort of browse through enough episodes of television and your IMDb account to find out who those are. If you're looking at somebody who's got like 1 or 2 lines, that's a co-star, and that's usually like a lower level agency. And most mid to high level agencies, they don't even submit you on co-stars because it's not worth their time. So that's what I recommend doing. Also ask friends. You should be making friends with people that are a step or 2 ahead of you. So look at who those people are in your life. Start making friends with them and asking them who their reps are. And they'll know who their reps are, who their friends' reps are. Those are usually some really good mid-level agencies. All right. Oh, this is a really good question from Scottie. This is about self-tapes and finding a reader. Question: how did you get around the issue of finding a reader every morning? I've been recruiting my girlfriend when I can and my mom over Skype. Ha 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 ha. Also, tips on narrowing down your type. Do you have a list of archetypes you came across while reading all these pilot scripts? Why, yes, I do have a list of archetypes I came across while reading all these pilot scripts. I could tell you them. Or you could read a bunch of pilot scripts yourself and you could find out for yourself. That's what I recommend doing. I only recommend you doing that because I want you to start to make your own way into discovering what writers are doing. I want you to become investigative discoverers of a writer's intention. What I will say that I really learned in the first year that I started reading all the pilots is, if you look at the show Friends, those of you who are really young, go back and watch it. But you have Monica, Rachel, and Phoebe. And then you have Chandler, you have Ross, and you have Joey. So I realized in reading all the pilots that that's pretty much the archetype for every single show. You have the Monica, who's usually like the type A, bossy friend with all their shit together-ish, and then you have usually like the fighty fuck-up friend who's like always trying to get their shit together. That's Rachel. And then you have the character wild card, and that's Phoebe. And the character wild card can be anything, so long as it's character and wild card. And that's also then reflected on the opposite side with Chandler and Ross and Joey. So when I was looking at my casting, I realized that I didn't have a clear indication of which one I was. I always thought that I was Rachel. You guys, I'm not Rachel. And then I tried being Monica and nobody really believed me as type A. So it turns out I'm super weird and I get to be Phoebe for the rest of my life. And if you look at my reel, that's true. Just super weird, you guys. As far as getting a reader is concerned, I did have my boyfriend help me, now fiance, on a regular basis, but also your mom is great. You should be having what's called like actor partners. So these are like administration business partners and you help each other out all the time. People are always asking me like, Audrey, how much do you charge to self-tape? And I tell them, I don't charge to self-tape, but then you have to come back and you have to help me self-tape. So if you have a friend or two in acting class that you feel like, is out there to help you, then yes, FaceTime with them, one take in the morning. So I enlisted over the period of 2 years, probably about 5 to 10 various different friends to help me. I really recommend that. I think it's really helpful. And lastly, but not least, we have a billion questions from Jillian. Okay, I'm going to go through them. Jillian, she says, you inspired me to cut a new specific reels. Thank you. I'd be a perfect bitch with a heart on the CW. I'm currently cutting a 90-second reel just for that market. A, what do I title this reel? I think CW reel is fine. They get it. Additionally, once I cut this reel, what do I do with it? Do I list it on Vimeo, Actors Access, LA Casting, IMDb? Yes. Yes, you do all of those things. Do I stalk the assistants of the casting houses that work on these kinds of shows? No. You never stalk the casting assistants. Never. Don't do it. You have to respect their space. I know it's hard, but you have to respect their space. On that note, a few actors I know who I met at NYU, etc., are killing it and booking TV and don't seem to have any reels online. What gives? Are they just too fancy? Do their reps keep their reels private? Does it look bad to have a reel up on publicity? I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here, but I'm confused about the industry standard. Okay, I can say that I was talking to a casting director the other day, and it really just depends on your age and how long you've been in it. I mean, she was saying that if you're over 25 and you're not SAG and you don't have a reel, like, she's just not bringing you in. So you guys should know that. And this is a really good casting director, and she's not trying to be a bitch. She's just like, there are too many people who have reels and are SAG at that age group and over, that if you don't, it starts to say something about you that you don't want it to say about you, which is why I'm on you guys to start having quality footage and really making sure that you are in SAG and that you've kept up with your dues. But yes, they're on private. So everybody's agents have reels in their agency profile on Breakdowns, on LA Casting, on Actors Access. How do you suggest sending self-tapes if no one has asked you for them? AKA, what's your opinion of black market breakdowns? My official point of view on black market breakdowns is that it's illegal. Okay. If you happen to get word of a casting and you're really great for them, by whatever means you might manage to do that, then you want to put yourself on tape. You really need to have an agent or manager do that for you. Sending something willy-nilly yourself is probably not kosher. You know, they're slammed during pilot season, and I know it's in your best interest to sort of like push the envelope of what's acceptable, but I really don't want you to get the reputation for being a jerk and bugging casting. Like, those relationships over time are more valuable than any one audition you think you're going to try and get in for. Honestly, like, if it's a role you're really excited about and you really think that you should be getting in for it, there are a lot of famous people who feel the same way, and you're just not going to be up for it. And I know that that sucks. Like, I know it sucks, you guys. It's heartbreaking, but like, work the level that you're at. What's the right way to ask a high-level producer, i.e. your friends, if there are any bit parts that you're right for? Okay, here's how you do it. You just go, hey, super awkward to ask this, but can you put me in your thing? Like, people really want to help people. Just be like, can you put me in your thing? And then just be like, no big deal, not trying to like use you, like, don't want to fuck up a friendship or anything, but also, can you put me in your thing? And if not, no worries, no big deal, it's fine. The thing is everyone understands the game, and just like, if you are a producer, put yourself in their shoes. How would somebody approach you, a friend of yours, that would make you feel like, yeah, I'll consider that, but also doesn't make you seem like you're just using them to get in their thing? Like, people can smell that. So don't worry about it. If that's not your intention, if you're really friends with them, they're going to want to help you. How do you suggest getting a lit agent? You know, I've written 3 pilots that I'm very proud of. Jesse, how do you suggest getting a lit agent? Jesse says, get a manager first. There you go. What's the idea of an ideal cold email to agents and managers? The ideal email, honestly and unfortunately, is, hey, I'm already a working actor. I have a series you could take my money from. Do you want it? Anything less than that really isn't ideal for them. I think I've already answered this question to somebody on one of the other episodes, but it's hard, you guys. You have to remember they're trying to pay their rent with you. And anything that you can communicate that lets them know that you're a valuable commodity, hopefully in no time rather than long time, that they're going to be able to use you to pay their rent, is the communication they're looking for. That's just the hard, honest truth. They don't care that you went to some fancy school. They don't care that you book like some student films. They want to know, like, can they sell you? It's hard, you guys. It's really hard. How do I get on a soap? You know, I don't know, man. I never tried to get on a soap. I don't know. If commercially I work as one type, but theatrically I work as another, which matters? My experience is that there's a lot of age things that go into commercials versus theatrical. Generally speaking, commercially, you're allowed to be like a parent at a younger age than you are theatrically, so that sometimes changes the game. You say commercially I work as a young mom, but theatrically I work period and funky or hip. I'm not sure how to handle this. So for you, Jillian, I looked at your thing. It looks like I said, they allow you to be younger as a mom commercially than they do theatrically. And when you have fair skin right now, that really does lend itself to period work in the current market. And I think you have like an interesting haircut. So I get why you're funky and hip in theatrical worlds, but funky and hip in commercial world is like really funky and hip, like mohawks and shit. So I think it just is a difference of the market. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're working, it's great. Your IMDb photo is me looking my best on the red carpet at the Emmys. Am I blowing it? For some reason, the headshot is the main photo. Seems amateur, but I am getting ahead of myself having a red carpet photo. No, nobody cares. How do I get on stage at the Geffen or theaters alike? I think the best way to get on stage at the Geffen is to already have a series, to be moderately famous, or to have Broadway or the like credits from New York. Good luck. How do I get into the actor's studio? I don't really know. All right. Thanks, Jillian. That was a lot of questions. Thanks, you guys. And next week, I'm going to have an episode for you. You know, our sound equipment kind of broke, so that was a little rough. And I'm going to, my attitude's better this weekend, so we're going to work that out. And I'll see you next week. I hope that you're on your way to an audition. I hope this week that you're on your way to test for a pilot. And if you're not, I hope that you're not devastated every moment that goes by that you're not. Because this life is long. There's plenty of parts for you. All right. Don't forget your towel. This show is produced and edited by Jesse Lumen. Oh, he's so handsome. Special thanks to Thomas Snodgrass for the mic assistance here and there. He's so generous with his mic. It's good to have your sound guy across the street, you guys. And thanks to Aalok Mehta for some help with the theme song. Music this week and every week by Ari De Niro. And most importantly, don't forget your towel.